Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning. Good morning, brothers and sisters. It's a beautiful, dreary-ass day out here in Westminster, but wherever you are, I hope it's much, much more beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, brothers and sisters. And this includes anybody who's joining us for the first time, because you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat, a real treat. The kind of treat that, I'll tell you about that treat later. I'll tell you about the treat later. But let's just say that for those of you who were not with me last night, I was out trying to promote the upcoming events, but I'll tell you about that later, much later. Let us get to what we came here for. That is to hear the Lord's word. That's it. So let us, let me welcome you to the Church of Last Resort. I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCLIX, Cinco de Mayo. That's right. Today is one of the sacred holidays in the tequila cult. And now some people observed Cinco de Mayo on May 4th, which is a Star Wars cult. And I'll talk about that later too. Don't have a choice because there's so many. This is the time of year when there's a convergence of holy days. So you got the May 4th and you got the Cinco de Mayo, and then there's my cousin Pat's birthday, and it all came together in this whole holy trinity of holidays. So happy birthday to anybody, not just Pat, because I met a young lady at a show about 2-3 years ago, and her birthday was on Cinco de Mayo. Happy birthday, young lady. I can't remember your name, but I got you on video somewhere. Not that video. That's the OnlyFans, and that cost me a pretty fucking penny. I'm talking about the one that you actually paid to show when you saw me, but that's totally different. Thank you, young lady. Happy birthday. So let us begin in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah, y'all. Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy. Let us pray. Please bow your heads unless you are driving your car or your significant other. I have to say this part. It's a disclaimer. It's a lawyer thing. It's nothing to do with you or your stupidity or a lack thereof. My lawyers make me say this. I have a few disclaimers that I have to make. Like you heard the one in the beginning about me not being a real doctor. And it's true. I'm not a real doctor. I'm a doctor like Dr. Phil or Dr. Oz. I'm not a real doctor. I'm like them. Okay. So please bow your heads unless you're driving your car or Dr. Ruth, not Ruth, Dr. The sex one, Dr. The one who wrote The Joy of Sex. Or maybe she wasn't a doctor. Maybe she just made you feel good. Never mind. Please bow your heads unless you are driving your car or your significant other. And if that is the case, just close your eyes and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. Dear Lord, let us pray for the attorneys that are defending Donald Trump in New York. Lord, I am not asking that Trump be acquitted. Fuck no. And no one is asking for that. No one wants that. Okay? No one that matters. And I am not asking that he receive a hung jury. We had enough hanging with that man. Tried to hang his own vice president, but not him directly, but he gave the orders, No one that matters wants that either. Maybe Mrs. Pence. I'm sorry, mother. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not asking that they do not get disbarred, because Lord knows that's the risk they take by taking on Trump as a client. Yeah. No, we ask that Trump's attorneys do not kill Trump in front of all of those witnesses. Besides, without cameras in the courtroom, we'd have to rely on the courtroom artists to capture the fatal blow in pastels. Can I get a video? That's what I'm talking about. Dear Lord, please return my wife, Mona Roll, home safely on Thursday. I know she's supposed to arrive on Tuesday, but I need a couple of extra days to clean up. She's been gone for a week, and I have not been keeping up with the household chores due to the fact that I've been binge watching Better Be Getting. It's a biblical show about begetting. It's a research. We'll call it research. Like I said, she's been gone for a week, and I want to make good on all of those promises I made on the phone while we were sexting. Can I get a video? Lord have mercy. And Lord, put it upon the hearts and in the wallets, and eventually take it out of the wallets of about 100 people to buy tickets for my live show, Blessings and Blasphemy, on May 16th at the Church of Satire Comedy Club in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Can I get a sellout? Yeah, not me. I'm not selling out. You're saying, you got to sell out. Look in the mirror, mofo. And I'm like, no, I'm not a sellout. I am not taking a dime for this. See, no. As a matter of fact, if this first show sells out, I'll probably break even because I got to pay for shit. You know what I'm saying? But not the venue. The venue is paying for the venue. But I pay for things that I'm using in the show. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not a sellout. And don't call me that, Mirror. Don't call me that. Talking to you, Mirror. Stop it. Calling me those names. It kind of hurts coming from you. And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff at Mind Dog TV. They are truly doing your work, helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere and the ironic sphere and all the spheres where your word is heard. The staff, I just want you people to know something. That staff could be anywhere today, but they are here, making sure the show runs as smoothly as it can with me in front of the camera. And they are here doing their job, just wishing they were someplace else. But they're not someplace else. They're here today. And I thank you, and the Lord bless you. And that ought to count for something. MindDogTV.com. It's the place to go to get your Church of Satire gear. Let me show you. I'll show you some of this gear. See this? This is to be honest, this used to be a mug. Now it's the wind chime. It's the wind chime. See? That's what happens when you walk into a room with the lights out and you don't know where you put your mug. That's it. You make a wind chime out of it. But and for some odd reason, I there's that wind chime sound. I will get a new mug. I will get a new mug. We took up a collection last night so that I can afford to get a new mug, and things went really well. in that collection, and I'll tell you about that later on. But you you do not have to just get the Reverend gear, because there are lots of other things you can get there. Like I said, you don't have to buy the Reverend mug. You could buy like the Mind Dog TV mug. You could get one of those. See, and promote the show. And when you're at work and you're drinking a coffee mug like this, whatever you put in the mug, it's none of my business, because I don't work with you. You could put coffee and with ice cubes laced with LSD. I don't care, because I don't work with you. And if I do work with you, how come you're not sharing that acid with everybody? That's all I'm saying. But I don't work with you. So whatever you need to get through the day, put it in the cup. A little bump, put a little bump in there. Don't say whatever you need to get through the day and do your job, put it in the cup. And Mind Dog TV, that's right. This is one of their cups. Don't put it in my cup. Don't put it in the wind chime. No, put it in one of these cups when you're at work. Yeah. Or you can get a Mother's Day T-shirt that looks just like this, except it doesn't have my face on it. It has Mother's Day on it. But as long as we got this here, look, you can buy one of these. That's right. You can look at that. And it fits beautifully. Look at that. Look at how that fits. Look at that. It fits beautifully. This is the 2X, which happens to be the size I wear. But I can't wear it today because I've got to put on the collar. So that's okay. So you can go to Mind Dog TV and get all kinds of stuff for all kinds of people, like sneakers. You can get sneakers. That's all I've heard. I don't have a pair. Otherwise, I tell you how well they fit and how they make you run faster and jump higher. The Mind Dog TV flyers. That's the sneakers. Sorry. And last but not least, because how can it be least? We're going to bump for the Lord. That's everybody. Bump for the Lord. No coffee anymore. No coffee, no tea. Just a little bump for thee, Lord. Was that me? Damn. I think there's something wrong with the camera. Yeah. Yep, it's the camera. Sorry. It's the camera. Sorry about that. I'll get that fixed. That's the problem when you get your video equipment at Ollie's or Overstock.com. You got to get your stuff at the good place, like that guy in the corner who told me he's got good stuff. So I'll check it out. But not now. That means I'd have to go out on the corner. And you don't want your Reverend on the corner. Not today. It's raining. It is raining cats and dogs. It has gotten away of me doing my yard work that I said I would do. Now, I guess I could have done the yard work in the rain, because what they tell you is when you plant your trees and your flowers is that you water them. And if it's already raining, that's one less thing you have to do. But I'm not going to lie to you. I do not like working in the rain. Not anymore. Come to think about it, I never liked working in the rain. But I did it then because I was getting paid big bucks to work in the big rain. That's big weather for you. Big weather. They pay you big bucks to work in the rain. But I didn't work for the weather. I worked for a utility company. And back then, it was kind of dangerous. Some of you may not know this, but back in 95 or 96, I know it was on April 15th because it was so ironic. But I actually got struck by lightning 2 times on that day. 2 fucking times I got struck by lightning. And it affected the way I think temporarily. Not the way I think, the way I process. No, the way I spoke. Because I could think. I just could not speak properly for like 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, I had Tourette's. And some people go like, well, I'd be cussing too if I got struck by lightning and it had a hole in my hand from where the lightning went, whee, But that's not why I was cussing. I didn't want to cuss because I got on the radio to ask for help. That's right. I was conscious, and because I was dressed in my rubber. I was wearing my rubbers, which is, a good thing. Because if I wasn't wearing my rubbers, I'd have been like that racehorse that got struck in the same storm, and the other utility worker who also got killed, same storm. I'd have been like one of those two. But fortunately, I got struck twice and walked away from it. They did put me in the hospital for observation. And here's the funny thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. This is the part that's going to kind of grab you. This is going to tickle your willies, just like this, like that. Yeah, going to tickle you. I was in the hospital. I'd just been struck by lightning 2 times. And I'm in the hospital, and they got these things hooked up to me. Things going beep, 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 just like that. And I'm sitting there, and I'm angry. I'm still angry. I'm angry. I was angry. At first, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first got struck, for like 5 or 10 seconds, I didn't feel anything, nothing. I saw the light. I saw a blue streak go from my hand and hit the communications equipment, and that's what. And I knew shit was going. I said, that's not good. I did. I said, that's not good. Just like that, because I saw the equipment, and I got on the radio right away, and I called the dispatch, and I said, we have an outage in the 21044 area, because that's where I was. And I said, and they said, how do you know? And I said, the equipment was struck by lightning. And they said, how do you know? And I said, because it went through me to get to it. And they thought I was joking. And they said, but how do you know it's out? Did you check it? And here's where the dedication to the work kicked in. I said, I don't know. It has to be out. But they said, we're not getting any calls. I said, it was middle of the day. Maybe nobody's at home to know. This is a residential neighborhood. If I was in a business district, it would make sense. Businesses be calling in. But I was in a residential neighborhood in the middle of the day, people probably at work. They hadn't called in yet. And besides that, it takes them a while to realize it's out for good. Out, not just a glitch. But I said, I will check. I told them all that, and I said, but I'll check. And I went back there, and so that was like this is like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, and I'm walking slowly back to the equipment to stand in the same spot where I got struck. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm using logic. Let me show you something. I didn't mean to do this yet, but I'm going to get the breakdown board. I'm going to grab the breakdown board for you. Here we go. All right. And because I need you to understand the logistics of how all this works. Okay. So here we go. Breakdown board. I'm going to put that there. So I know you can't see beyond that point. So I'll try not to write over there. All right. So here we go. The equipment was like right here on the ground. All right. And my van was like this. That's my van. Wheel and wheel. And the wheels on the van go round and round, round and round, round and round. Wheels on the van go round and round, except when it's in park. And it was in park. So now this is me going to the equipment, walking over to the equipment. All right. Now, the first time I got struck, I was right about here, and the lightning went zzz, actually, technically, it went zzz in the back. Okay. And my hand was here, and I had a wrench in my hand. That's a wrench. And it went out the hand and bam, hit the equipment. That's how it did. Now, this is the cloud, and these are the 2 clouds that did it. And this is rain like that. Rain like that. And that's why, even though I was wearing rubbers, I was a conductor, but not a good conductor, because I was wearing rubber, but it was wet rubber. So that's why. I want you to know, I'm telling you all this because of what the nun said. All right. So I'm leaving the van to go check a second time. And I'm walking and I'm thinking to myself, and I said, I'm saying something like this to myself. They tell you lightning cannot strike twice in the same place, but that's not true. If the conditions are right to strike in the same place, it can strike in the same place. It's just like any other electrical current. So, but let me see. The wind is blowing, right? So the clouds should be moving. So the clouds, and they have to recharge. So I should be okay. That's what I said. I talked myself into going back there. The thing is, the wind wasn't blowing, and the clouds were still here. They were still rubbing against each other, creating friction, because that's what they do. They rub and they create friction, and then the clouds get all excited, see? And then this cloud here goes, oh my Lord. This cloud here, not this one. This is the female cloud. Well, that could be the female cloud, and it's just it wasn't a squirt though. So that's the female cloud. That's the male cloud. And the cloud was warning me, I should have been listening. I should have been listening and hearing the cloud go, oh. But I didn't. I didn't listen. And the cloud goes, it's coming. And it went, bam, right in my back again. Because I was the tallest thing in that area. And I guess, or I was the most conductive thing. See, people say it's the height. No, height don't matter sometimes. Sometimes, yeah, if you're standing next to a tree and the two of you have the same resistance, the tree's going to get it first. But if you are better ground, see, lightning is electricity, and the electricity takes the path of least resistance. Okay? Least resistance. That was me. And so the second time it struck, I developed Tourette's. I walked away with my sanity, and by the time, actually, when I called the first time, they had actually started sending help over to help me. They sent a young man named Pat Adams, who up until that moment was one of my close friends. I trained him for his promotion, which I thought I was going to get. But back then, they didn't want a black guy in that position, so they promoted the guy I trained. And yeah, I know. You're thinking, boo fucking who? Racism existed back in the 90s. And I'm not going to say the name of I'm not going to say Comcast. I'm not going to say the name of the place. Let's just say it rhymes with Comcast. And those racist motherfuckers, it rhymes with Comcast. Those racist motherfuckers. But that's beside the point. I did eventually get my promotion. As a matter of fact, that's me promoted right there, because I had a different position before. But Pat got the position first, even though I trained him. That's beside the point. I'm not mad, because Pat and I was friends up until right there. Pat drives up and he comes out to help me. And the thing is, at that point, I had Tourette's. I had Tourette's for 30 minutes and I could not stop cussing at him. And he pulls up and he says, are you all right? And I said, motherfucker. And I just laid into him. And he goes, whoa, I'm your friend. He goes, don't talk to me like that. And I couldn't help it. See, because if he had gotten there earlier, I didn't have Tourette's. I had never had Tourette's in my entire life. And I have always been civil with my friend Patrick. Always. But that day, he just thought I was angry but I wasn't. And he didn't understand that I wasn't angry. He had never heard of temporary Tourette's, because I had never heard of it. And I just kept cussing and cussing. So I get taken to the hospital, and I'm in there being hooked up. Boop, boop, boop. And the nun comes in there, and she looks at me and she says, they tell me you've been struck by lightning twice today. She says, the Lord must be telling you something. No, I'm sorry. She said, the Lord must be trying to tell you something. And I said to her, well, the Lord is fucking stupid. Okay? I said, the Lord is fucking stupid, and he don't read his own book. Because the Lord said in his own book, I am not in the lightning. I am not in the storm. I am not in the wind. All those places. He goes, I am not in those things. Okay? So if he's not in the lightning and he's trying to talk to me, why the fuck would he send lightning not once but twice? So that's what I told her. And I said, now, your book, because I said your book says I am in the gentle breeze. Your book said that, not mine. Your book. And I was angry. I was angry. I was so fucking angry with that nun. And she was stupid. And then I said to her, look, I keep a pencil and paper beside my bed for when I have dreams, and I can write them down when I wake up so I don't forget. That's what I told her. And I said, so if the Lord really wants to talk to me, he could pick up that fucking pencil and write it down on paper just like I do. I was angry. So, and I don't even know why I talked about that stuff. So it was raining today, and I don't like working in the rain. And that's why I don't like loud noises either, because that lightning, the sound of the thunder, right? Here's the deal. Lightning strikes, okay? And then there's a boom. And the further away you are from the boom, the longer it takes for that boom to reach your ears. So it takes about 5 seconds per mile. I think that's about right. I think that's the math. I have to look it up. Somebody can Google that and check it out for me. So that's right, Ian. So that's exactly right. So right. So I think it's 5 seconds per mile. And if you see lightning and you count like 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, and boom, it's about a mile away. Okay. So, but when the lightning strikes you, guess how fast that sound comes? That's right. It's like boom, just like that. And guess how loud that shit is? Oh yeah, that shit puts a ringing in your ears like nothing you've ever heard before, and won't hear for like 20 seconds. That's how fucking loud it is. It's like boom, yeah, like that. And I'm sorry about that. I apologize, because that probably just fucked up your computer or your phone. I apologize, but I got to get it out. I started talking because I don't work in the rain anymore. And this is why, because now that nun was right about one thing. The Lord don't have to tell me twice. Okay, the first strike would have been fine. The second strike was just like I just digging into you. And again, I'm not blaming the Lord for any of that shit. That's science, okay? Because I spent years trying to figure out why I lived, and that guy died, and that horse died, okay? And that's not why they started calling me horse. They actually started calling me, what did they call me at work? I think for about 6 months at work, they called me Flash, and they called me I can't remember now, but they called me some electrical, but Flash was one of them. And that's the other thing. Now that is the one thing that pissed me off. Okay, Barry Allen, when he got struck by lightning, he wakes up as the Flash. I get struck by lightning and I wake up being called the Flash, but I have none of the powers and none of the benefits. And that pisses me off because I had the lightning strike in my life, no superpowers. I was in a coma and I wake up, no Jessica Jones power, no, none of that shit. So why am I suffering all this shit and I'm not getting any of the powers? Okay. And the Flash, I can understand why that didn't happen for me, because I actually was a Marvel kid and not really a DC kid. And you're not going to get DC powers living in a Marvel universe. Okay, so that's not that they don't have that kind of crossover. And being a devout Marvel kid, I can understand that. But Jessica Jones was Marvel, okay. And so when I come out of that coma, I should have had Jessica Jones's type powers. That's all I'm saying. But that's beside the point. I don't mean to get off on that tangent because I got serious shit to talk about. I got a sermon to talk about, and not just explain why I didn't get the work done in the yard like I was supposed to for my wife, because it's raining yesterday and it's raining all day today. And so fuck that. I'm not working in the yard. I'm not doing it. I don't mind getting wet for my wife, but not like that. That's no. But that's beside the point. Yeah, way beside the point. Matter of fact, here's the point, and this is the shit I just talked about. Here's the point, and matter of fact, the point is getting further away all the fucking time. But that's beside the point. And I didn't mean to say fucking so much. I don't need to say fuck. I don't need to say fuck. But it's for the ratings. Now that's beside the point. So let me clean up the breakdown board in case I need it later. I don't think I'll need it later, but just in case. Thank you, breakdown board. All right. Now, there's one thing I do also. Before I get to the sermon, I want to thank everybody who voted in Carroll County for Carroll County's best picks. They just came out with their report, the best picks for 2024, and damn it, if you look, like I said, I thank everybody who voted. If you look right here, page 71, I was voted Westminster's best minister of 2024, and I thank everybody who voted. Thank you. This is a good news coming from the good book. Thank you, everybody who voted. That means a lot to me. I humbly accept being Westminster's best minister. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, I was talking before I get to the sermon. I am going to get to the sermon. I was talking about last night. I was in case for some reason you don't know, performing live on May 16th at the Church of Satire in Hanover, Pennsylvania. So last night was doing some promoting for that show, and we passed around a collection plate. Now, one person, that we handed out flyers, talked to people, shook hands, and passed out the collection plate. And this is one of the things that we got in the collection plate. Okay. And for those of you who say, what is that, a Luden's wild cherry lozenge? No, this is a gummy. Okay. And attached to the baggie was a little note that said one right there. See it? 100 mg. Now, I don't know what that stands for. 100 mg. I don't know if this is a cautionary tale or like the mg. I don't know what it stands for. When I was growing up, it was a car. But I know this is not a car. I can see this is not a car. MG could stand for my God, 100, my God. But 100 what? 100 my gods? I don't know. But so, and it has, now I don't know if you guys can see this or not. See, on the very front of that, there's a triangle right there. Okay. Now, for those of you who are familiar with symbology, a triangle is a sign of represents the Holy Trinity, the George Carlin, the Robin Williams, and the Richard Pryor. Okay, the Holy Trinity. And so, right. So when you get something like this with the Holy Trinity of Robin Williams, George Carlin, and Richard Pryor on it, you're thinking you are blessed. You are truly blessed. So I had to do some research. Turns out that this gummy is 100 milligrams of THC, strong ass shit. And they recommend that you cut it in quarters when you digest it. But I got work to do, and I cannot digest this. not while I'm working. That I'd be like so fucked up. So what we're doing here is we're giving it away to somebody in the audience right now. We're going to give it away, and let's see. All right, all right, and you can see, just so you know, I'm not cheating. The number is 547135. Okay, if that is your ticket, just come by the Church of Satire. I'm not Church of Satire. Come by the fuck. It's almost like I took one of those things already. Shit. Damn it. That's my number. Holy crap. I won. This is mine. Son of a bitch. Lord must want me to have it. So sorry, all you losers. This is mine today. Yeah. Maybe next time. But if there's another collection plate, maybe next time. Lord, guess what? That garden work is not getting done today anyway. The rain can stop right now. If I take that, the garden is not going to get no. Okay. So thank you. Today's sermon is how long should you want to live? Okay. How long should you want to live? Not how long are you going to live or how long you want to live. How long should you want to live? See, that's an important question. And I'm not saying that I want to live one more day and you take your own life. No, this is not about euthanasia or suicide or any of those things. I'm talking about you right here. I'm talking about this thing here, the microphone. Yeah, I'm talking about the earpiece right here. How long should you want to live? Do you want to outlive your joy? That's the essence of this question is, what do you consider living? And do you want to outlive what you consider living? Do you want to outlive your joy? Do you have joy in your life? And do you want to live beyond the joy? If you stop feeling the joy, do you want to keep on living? Or do you want to make more joy so that you have a reason to live? Do you want to outlive your purpose? Yeah, your purpose. See, turns out that a lot of people, when they retire, they have tied up their purpose with their jobs. Or people have been married a very long time, and one spouse dies, and the other spouse goes, that was my purpose for living. And they go shortly after. Some people call that broken heart syndrome. Syndrome. There's an R in there somewhere. I just don't know where it goes. Syndrome. I know there's an R. Okay, that's beside the point. So do you want to outlive your purpose? Do you want to outlive your financial resources? I'm going to tell you right now, fuck no. But I shouldn't be answering for you. You are a grown person, hopefully. If you're not a grown person, hopefully your parents are sitting in the room with you, explaining to you the things I say. Like when I say fuck, and you'd say, Mom, Dad, what's fucking? And your dad would go, I don't know. Ask me what jerking off is and I can tell you. That kind of thing. So, yeah, if you're a kid, ask your parents what I'm talking about. And if you're not a kid and you don't understand, you could be an incel, and we could be in trouble. But that's beside the point. If you're an adult and you're not having sex, the last thing you want to do is watch me, because I am no good for sex. Not for you. Nope. Okay. Do you want to outlive your financial resources? And the answer to that is no, because then you become it should be no. Nobody wants to be broke. I'd like to think that nobody wants to be broke. There's a book. I saw somebody had a book called Poor by Choice by Estelle Gibson. I think she invented the Gibson guitar, and so she's not broke anymore. But she has a book that says "Broke by Choice." Estelle Gibson. Now, I've never read the book, but to me, the title itself, and you say you can't buy. Many people, including a wise man named Matt Nipples, Coffee with the Dog. He likes to say, I don't know, I never listened to him, but damn it, something about say pull by choice, blah 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 blah. I can't remember, but he said something like that. But do you want to outlive your finances? Okay, you broke. Being broke is not always a choice, but feeling broke is a choice. Being broke is not always a choice. Okay, but do you want to outlive your financial resources? No, you don't, because then you can't. Now, money can't buy happiness. All right, money cannot buy happiness, but it can buy a happy ending. And I don't mean a woo hoo hoo. It does that too, but I mean towards your life. If you can die and not be a burden to your family, have your last thoughts. Your last thoughts are not going to be. Your last thoughts can be, my family will be taken care of. Or your last thoughts are going to be, shit, my family's going to have to sell my corpse to pay for the funeral. That's what I'm to sell. You don't want to outlive your money. You don't want to outlive your usefulness. And again, I don't mean usefulness to others. I mean usefulness to yourself. Okay? You do not want to be the person who, when people bring up your name, and someone says like, I just saw the Reverend last week, and they'll go, what? He's still alive? Lord, I thought he'd been gone by now. You don't want to be that person where people just assume you're dead, or they just wish you were dead. What you want to be, again, I'm not telling you what you want to be. I'm suggesting, but I'm saying it like you want to, something, fuck it, I'm telling you. You want to be somebody that people want to be around you. Okay, even if you're a loner and you're alone by choice, you still would like to be where the option is that people want you around. Even if you say like, I don't do parties, or no, I don't hang out at clubs. You still want the option when people at least want you there. They go like, yeah, but we'd like to have you, and they mean it. Not like, yeah, and we'd like to have you. Thank God you said no. Because you can't outlive your usefulness. You can outlive your productiveness. I'm thinking of now I used to say that about Harrison Ford. I did, but he has that show where he plays a psychiatrist. Yeah, and apparently he's very good in that. But before he got that job, and before he got the recurring role in the Star Wars thing, you notice he was fucking up. He kept crashing his airplane in the shit, trying to land it on cars and houses. He was just losing his shit because he was like Han Solo, and he was Indiana Jones, and he was the president in like 9 other movies, like the entire whatever that thing was, that series where he was like the president, like every other fucking disaster movie. It's like Airplane meets West Wing or something. I don't know. Airport meets West Wing. One of those disaster things. And then it dries up, and he just goes, fuck it. I don't need the movies. I have an airplane. And he just starts flying it into shit like, yeah, boom. And every other week you're reading about Harrison Ford, doing something to his airplane at someone's house, doing something to his airplane in someone's car, doing something to an airplane in someone's golf course. He was losing the shit. And at that point, you're thinking, he's done. He's lost his way. And then somebody goes, we got to rescue him and give him a role. And see, and a lot of people are expecting that. A lot of people fuck up their lives thinking somebody else is going to come along and rescue them and give them a role in a movie to rescue them. No, if you fucking up, you got to rescue yourself first, because not a lot of people want to be around to fuck up. You know, you have to promise, even if you can't deliver, on that promise. I'm not going to mention any presidential candidates by name, but even if you can't deliver on that promise and all you are is toxic and everything you touch turns to doo-doo, people still clamor to you because they believe that you can deliver, or that by being in your proximity, they will get some of that shit rubbed off on them. Okay. But that's because that snake oil salesman is selling a false promise that people buy into. But if you can't even deliver that a promise or the illusion that you can offer something, nobody's just going to come along and pluck you out of nowhere and make you famous or make you rich. That shit ain't happening often. Because I know I'm saying it, and right now somebody's Googling it right now. Google, and then they're going to pull it up and put the shit up there, and I'm going to be like looking like a fool, but that's okay. I don't mind looking like a fool, okay? When you're this good looking, you can occasionally afford to look like a fool because it ain't going to last. You know, it's like Teflon. The fool falls right off. That's what I'm talking about. It just goes fool and falls off, and you stop looking like a fool. But that was Harrison Ford. See, you don't want to be like that. He got lucky. You want to be more like Yoda, okay? Yoda, when he died, and for those of you who have heard this sermon before, I apologize because I'm doing it again. And you may not have heard it 27 weeks ago. You may not have heard it. You may be new. And now that, many ministers repeat sermons. Most ministers only have 5 sermons and they repeat them every 5 days, 5 weeks, because people's memory is so short, you know, that because sometimes they're doing 100 milligrams of jellies, or sometimes they just don't have an attention span and they've gotten used to remembering shit for like, let's say 15 days, which is why a minister can do a sermon every 35 days, because you've gone way beyond when people are going to pay attention and remember. They'll go, it sounds familiar, but they won't really remember it until later. Then they go like, oh, I remember now. That's too late. They've already heard it. And some things you need to hear over and over again to sink in. You know, it's like when you were a kid and your parents would say, don't touch that. The stove is hot. Okay. And you go, and you touch the stove and you burn your hand. You go, wah, and your parents go, fucking told you. Okay. And then 5 weeks later, you know, you go to touch the stove and parents say, didn't I tell you 5 weeks ago that damn thing was hot? And you go like, you touch the stove and go, wah, and the parents go, now I got a fucking retard on my hands. I told you 5 weeks ago, but it's not the kid's fault. The kid's not retarded. The kid is a kid. He's only human, and we don't function like normal animals. You take a squirrel or a rat, they taste something bad once, they don't have to taste it again. They know that smell, and they go, that shit made me sick last time I ate it. I'm not eating it again. But then you get a man, and he goes out, and he hooks up with the first time with this girl, and he's trying to make her happy, and he goes, you know, and he eats it anyway, and then he's sick, and then he meets the same girl in the club 4 weeks later, and he's like, hey, how about we hook up? And he does it again. It hooks, and he goes like, eats it again and sick again the next day. And he doesn't think, you know, something's wrong. You know, he doesn't, you know, because people aren't rats. We just behave like rats, but not in a good way. We do not take the best quality of rats. We do not take the best quality of animals for the most part. When we are around animals, we assign our best qualities to our pets, but we do not take the best qualities of the pets for ourselves. You know, that's just me being judgmental, or you can drop the judge. I'll give you a second. Think about that. Okay. But when Yoda died, he was 700 years old, which is young for a Jedi. Okay. But had he not died, we all know that Yoda would have become a drunken, retired Jedi, going from bar to bar and cantina to cantina looking for fights, saying, kick your ass, I will. Look at me sideways, you did. No, and when that happens, the Yoda that you knew no longer exists. You got the drunken Yoda who's a drunken retired Jedi who's just walking around, threatening people. Like, and it's gotten so bad that Mrs. Yoda had to take away his lightsaber because he was just fucking things up, and she gave him a flashlight. She just gave him a little old flashlight, and he's playing with the flashlight. Every time he gets drunk, he thinks he's got a lightsaber, and he threatens people with it in bars. Cut you like a wonton. Yeah, cut you like a wonton, I will. That's a tauntaun, but he's drunk, okay? He's drunk. You don't want to be that way, okay? You want to die with dignity like he did at 700. You don't. That's what I'm saying. How long should you want to live? You do not want to outlive. You do not want to live long enough that people are going to regret that you're alive. And I'm not saying that you need to off yourself. What I'm saying is take the opportunity to make your life better. Okay? Because I'm tired of TikTok and Facebook banning shit I say because they don't listen to the rest of the fucking sentence. And they go, he said drugs. And then all of a sudden you're banned, okay? Yeah, or he said suicide. And they ban you. And they don't listen to the rest of the fucking sentence to find out that you're not pro-suicide. You're pro-improving your life so you don't want to commit suicide. And I said suicide 4 times. And already they flagged it. And now they're not going to show it. So if you're not watching it right now, then I'm sorry. Let's talk about something happier. Let's talk about getting old. Now, I really hate young people when they complain about getting old and they're only 30. Okay? I hate that. All right? You are not old until you get to the point where your family and friends are treating you like a child. That's when you're old. All right? Up until then, yeah. If you're 30 and you got a backache, okay, it could be just fucking lazy. You're not exercising enough, and you did something that your body's not used to, like stood up, and you get a twinge because you've been sitting in your ass all day playing some game that I don't even know the name of because I don't play those games. What's a game that kids play nowadays? Minesweeper. Okay, so you've been playing Minesweeper all fucking day, with the VR glasses, and you go like, 1, shovel, flag, whatever kids play nowadays. Like I said, I don't know. I think it's Minesweeper, but I think that's what the kids are doing. But you stand up and you're like, oh shit, my back. I'm getting old. No. You're getting a sign from your back that you need to get off your ass and move. Okay, that's what that is. But young people in their 30s like to say, I'm getting old because I'm forgetting shit. Guess what? We always forget shit. That's not a sign that you're getting old. I was 5 years old and I was forgetting to take out the trash because I wanted to go out and play with my friends. That's not senility. That's just something else replacing the thought that you should have. We all do it. You're not getting old when that happens. You're just human. Okay, stop blaming that shit on being old. Okay, but I hate it when people in their 30s say, I'm getting old. Fuck you. Okay, you are not getting old until people decide what's best for you and you're a grown ass man. Okay, and that's not happening to me right now. Right now, I'm 60. I'm in my 60s. Okay, and people are not treating me like a child yet, but it could very easily be. I mean, okay, a little bit, because like, I'm not going to mention any names, but let's say my wife, Amona, wants us to get a kitten. All right. To keep, wants to say, let's get a kitten. The thing is, I mentioned to a family member, and they said, really? A kitten? Do you know they can live like 16 years? Do you think you got 16 years left to live? Because if you don't, we may have to take care of that kitten for you. Well, actually, they wouldn't be taking care of the kitten for me, because if I'm gone, they'd take the kitten for the kitten. Now it's a cat. Because if I die while it's still a kitten and we got it as a kitten, whoo, lordy. But the thing is, members of my family are trying to talk us out of getting a kitten or a puppy because of how long they could live. And they're assuming that I may not live that long, and they do not want to inherit a puppy or a dog, puppy or a kitten. But if I was 30 and I said, I want to get a tortoise, a pet tortoise, not one person is going to say, is that a good idea? Do you think you'll be around long enough to take care of a tortoise in his later years? Because a tortoise can live up to like 150 years. You're 30. You think you're going to live to be 180? Nobody questions that kid, that 30-year-old. No one. And almost everyone knows that a tortoise could live to be 150. But no one says to that kid, really? A tortoise at 30? Nobody questions him. But at 64, if I want to get something that lives 20 years or could live 20 years or 16 years, they want to know, am I going to be around? Okay, maybe you should get a goldfish. Get a goldfish, see how that goes. You know something? That's what you say to a child. When a child is 5 or 6 years old and they want a puppy, and you go, I don't think you can handle a puppy. Let's get you a goldfish to see how you do with that. And if you don't kill the goldfish, maybe we'll get you a hamster or a gerbil or a lizard. Something from the dollar section of the pet store to see how that works out. And if then that works out, maybe by the time you're 10 or 11, we'll get you a puppy. Here's the deal. If you get a 5-year-old a puppy, you can train that 5-year-old to take care of the puppy. And before you know it, that child is so attached to the puppy that he will maybe even change colleges. So that when they go to college, they'll find a college that they can take the dog with them instead of you being stuck with the dog. That's why you get them young and you train it with the child, raise it with the child, and the two become like this. You get a 10-year-old, that 10-year-old wants a dog because all of his friends have dogs. But none of those friends want to take care of the fucking dog. They want to be friends and hang out and play football and baseball. Well, now they're stuck in the house. But they want to play with their friends and ignore the dog, so you want to raise that dog. So you get it for a 10-year-old because you think they're more mature. No, they're not more mature. They're more dangerous is what they are. More dangerous, not more mature. But that's when you're old, when people start wanting to make choices for you. They say, Pop, we know you've been driving for 50 years without an accident, but we're going to take your license because we don't think you can drive 50 more days without having one. And they just take your license. Without having, now, if you're starting to fuck up, okay, that's one thing. But if this is like their preemptive strike and they don't want to give you a chance to fuck up, that's when you're old, is what I'm saying. When people start making your choices for you. That's when you're old, and that's when you're young, very, very young. But when you're 30 years old, you have the whole world in front of you if you're making decent choices. Okay? If you're making decent choices, make good choices. We are approaching the end of the thing. I'm just saying, be careful out there. I want, on behalf of everybody, and at the Church of Last Resort, and my entire Roll family, my wife Ramona, my kids Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., our cat Tootsie, and our dog Stop Dropping. I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox Time on Mind Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. Lord have mercy. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get the final fuck yeah? Fuck yeah! Peace be with you.